Thinking big, and that is today's subject, thinking big, because I feel as entrepreneurs, we don't think big enough. We don't think big enough.
At every level.
Yeah. And every level, on a personal level, right? On a spiritual level, on a business level. You wanted an R8. Nothing wrong with that.
Yep.
Nothing wrong with that. Mm-hmm. And I actually was telling you to hold out. I was like, but I know that was like a car of your dreams and stuff.
Yeah.
But I was already thinking bigger for you. I was like, if you just hold out, you can get something else, right? And not that an R8 is like, some Pinto or anything, right?
Yeah.
But I'm like, if this guy holds out just a little longer, he can have whatever he wants. And now he has a freaking Bentley Bentayga, right? And then for me, I wanted an i8. That was my dream car. I test drove his uncle's i8. I was going to sublease it from him, didn't know any better. And then he freaking put together a transaction for me where I ended up getting a Rolls-Royce Wraith.
Yep.
These are small examples of not thinking big enough, right? And that's on cars. You can only imagine, if something as stupid as a car, you can only imagine something as serious as life. So, Mr. Sal, we'll start with you. What do you got to say about thinking big?
It's very simple for me. There's no limit. I don't think thinking big, some people can think about achieving something in like you were mentioning about a car. Okay, I want to get this kind of car, right? That's a goal. I think that's like small milestones and goals that can be obtained as for gratification. I think instant gratification, maybe it can take longer, but in the long scheme of, or in the long life, it's considered a small milestone that you achieve. But thinking big is just anything. I think when we opened up a business, when we started with one business, I didn't think we were going to stop there. When we started a second business, I didn't think we were going to stop there. When we started expanding,
Third, and the 10th and the 15th, and
there's no stopping.
We just kept going. It was like it kind of came organically, right?
Exactly. So people think about thinking big as, okay, well, let me set a goal and I'm going to achieve this goal, and okay, but let's be really, really honest here. Every entrepreneur wants more, and some people may look at this in a good way and in a positive or a negative way. They can say, okay, well, when is enough? Are you being greedy? Are you going to dedicate some time to family, this, and that, which we're going to cover at the end? But let's be honest, us entrepreneurs we're growth junkies. We're addicted to thinking bigger and bigger and bigger. The bigger we get, the better we want. The better we got, but we want to refine it. Yeah, the more we want. It's just, and not in a greedy way. It's just we're growth junkies. And I think if you think that thinking big has a limit and where you're going to reach, that's not really thinking big. There's no limit.
You know what just hit me, by the way, and I want to thank you. It's crazy how I'll have these moments of clarity when we're on the podcast. I was thinking bigger for him, and you were thinking bigger for me.
That's the power of circle.
No. But hold on. Do you not realize that? Or did you know that without telling me this?
Probably not. It's just
he didn't.
I don't think so. No, we never talked about this.
You didn't know.
But he knew.
He knew
because he already had
some exposure.
He already had he's been in business far longer than we have, right? And he already had you already had a Ghost, a Rolls Royce Ghost, and we're not guys. I'm sorry, we're not here to talk about these stupid materialistic things. These are just examples, okay?
Yeah.
So you already had a Rolls Royce Ghost, and you had a freaking Aventador, and I'm over here like, right? Like kind of like you said about your wife the other day. Hey, my wife has to be legit. Like that's the woman next to me. She has to, she has to dress well. She has to look good. Blah blah blah. Right? And maybe you were thinking that about your partner at the time. Like, wait a minute, I can't be driving an Aventador. Not that there's anything wrong with an i8, because I thought it was one of my dream cars.
And it's still a nice
I've
car.
had a few dream cars: Range Rover, Porsche Panamera, and an i8. Never a Rolls Royce Wraith. But you were already thinking bigger for me, and that is the power of having an amazing circle. I was already I was telling him, I'm like, dude, no, you don't. You can do better. You can do better. You can do better. And look what happened.
Yeah, absolutely.
The guy got an R8, a BMW, and then he got his Bentley. Like now he probably wishes
that he didn't have all these freaking cars.
No, I'm actually taking.
You got more cars than
I'm
all
taking,
He's trying to sell
I'm
it.
taking the R8 to his dealership today. So you have to keep working that. So as an entrepreneur, you have to realize that there is no limits. You do have to think big. I mean, and sometimes it takes others to tell you that you have to think bigger because you could only see what you can see. But during that process, you have to make sure that you're winning even on smaller levels because that's going to build that muscle and get you even more prepared for any type of level that you're going
Do me a
after.
favor. Let's count some wins today.
Let's do it.
You want to start?
Well, I want to say something before we do that. You know what's crazy? That sometimes someone would tell you, "Hey, like don't do this, just do that one," because I've been there. Even if they've done it before,
From
and they went
experience.
from experience, they would tell you that. And it's kind of like you can't listen to that for one reason because they've experienced it and it triggers some emotion for them. Like, if I had to do it all over again, I wouldn't do it. And when it comes to like the small wins, like to you, we're using a lot of the car example because that's something that's something we can touch on on daily basis.
We consider these nice cars small wins.
Small wins, exactly. So
Yeah.
They're small wins.
Like,
And-
and people will hold you to it like I should feel guilty about that. No,
Yeah.
like
it's a
like,
small
it's
win.
yeah. So if I had the same exact car and I told you, hey, bro, don't do it. I had it for a year and I got rid of it, and I don't think I got as much as I wanted out of it. If that car, I'm giving an example. By me telling you not to get it because how it impacted me, that's not right because everybody gets impacted differently.
Yeah.
Everybody has the different. The brain is a muscle, but everybody reacts to it differently. So I think for you getting it, and if you're receiving advice from someone else, don't get it. I think that would have been a disservice to yourself if you didn't do it.
Yeah.
Because imagine how much that little win, how much it pushed you further.
Because
Because
it gave me the ultimate confidence to
What's next?
Yeah.
Boom.
Like it gives
What's
you
next?
it's like a ladder you could
Yeah.
climb.
it gives you the taste. And then
Done.
and then
What's
also
next?
Exactly.
you can also relate it to like getting your first deal in real estate. That small win.
Yeah.
And people overlook that. Like they'll like when you get your whether it's like your first deal or maybe your first deal of the month, like you just overlook that win. And you're like always on to the next one. And for me, it was like, okay, I got the R8. You best believe I enjoyed it. And now it's like, okay,
Now it's the next step.
anything is possible. And then a few months later, I got a Bentley. And not just because I could, because it was the timing.
And use the same exact analogy into business. Use the same exact analogy into family. Think about kids. You have one kid. It was successful, happy, beautiful kid.
Oh my God, yeah.
And then now you're like, okay,
I want another one.
You're like, I want another
I
one.
want to relive it.
Exactly, and then like, okay, how I can do better now for both of my children
Yeah.
at the same time, and God willing, if you want a third one and a fourth one or whatever,
I want 4 kids.
okay, God willing.
And guess what? More than likely, if God allows me, I will have 4 kids because
So-
that's right. It's deep implanted, rooted into my subconscious mind.
And this is something that I've always thought about, but I never spoke it out. The bigger that you think, the bigger of legacy you leave. Think about this. The bigger you think, the bigger of a legacy you leave. And I can let you guys translate to that because we always talk about leaving a legacy.
Yeah.
And after you obviously explain what's thinking
Well,
big to you.
I wanted to talk about some small victories today, right? So I will say this, one of the biggest takeaways, like I said earlier, that I took away from Grant Cardone sitting right here, right on this chair, right in this spot was thinking big. The guy thinks enormous. And if you read a book called Scaling Up, which it's a crazy book. I like Traction more, to be honest with you. But Scaling Up does have like
It's the next level.
it's
the next level.
It's a little more nerdy.
Yeah.
It's a little more nerdy, and it's like it tells you, hey, you got to have a big, scary, hairy, audacious goal, like something that you're like, all right, I want to hit 100 million next year, right? Something just absolutely insane. You know what I mean? It talks about that, and that's the one thing that I did take away from Grant Cardone. I don't even know if I follow him. I don't even follow him on IG. I don't even know if I do. I never have. I never looked at his stuff. I just knew that a lot of folks looked up to him in a lot of different ways. So that's why we wanted to land him and put him on the podcast. But the one thing that I took from him was he thinks big, man. Like this guy, Cardone Capital, raising money. I want to do all that stuff. There's so many things that we all want to do, right? I like you said, I wake up with anxiety. I wake up with like, because I want to do so much. I want to do so much. how can you get to a status or a mindset shift of thinking big? You know, first and foremost, you got to overcome your fears. You got to overcome your fears. And what's also very, very important is, you know, like I was telling you guys earlier, is like, what are the most important thoughts? It's the thoughts that you produce.
Absolutely.
It's the thoughts, it's the things that you tell yourself over and over and over. You know what I've been telling myself every single day? Subconsciously. This is not something that's, at first it was forced. The mind is such a powerful thing, right? At first it was forced and now it's subconscious. I said, I want to be the best version of myself. I want to be the best version of myself. I want to be the best version. Like, it's just like it's on replay. It's like on replay now. I'm not even like forcing it. At first I was like, you know what? I want to be the best version of myself. You know what I mean? Like at first, right? And then now it's like I wake up and I'm walking around. I want to be the best version of myself. I want to, you know, and then I go run a mile. Why am I running
That's like
this mile?
affirmations, right?
Yeah. Why am I running this mile?
Yeah.
Because I want to be the best version of myself.
Absolutely.
Why did I not? Yesterday, Lord knows I was hungry past 6 p.m., right? I didn't even eat my second meal. You know that meal that we got from Flower Child? I didn't even eat it. I didn't eat a second meal. You know why? It got too late. Okay. And then when normally I'm ordering Uber Eats at, 8, 9, 10, 11 o'clock p.m.
I've seen your Uber Eats bill. It's crazy.
Easy. Yeah, it's thousands every month. Uber Eats. Shout out to Uber Eats. Thank you. Y'all need to sponsor us. So, bro, what happened was I was going to order some food around 9. And then Vanessa's on me because we have a wedding coming up. She's like, no, you can't. I'm over here working out. Right. And then I said, you know what? And then my thoughts started to take effect. Damn, I can't order that because then, I need to be the best version of myself. And then, you know what's crazy? I woke up. I felt good,
And you weren't hungry,
I felt good. No. And I was actually so excited to have breakfast. And what's my favorite meal of the day?
Breakfast.
Yeah. And when you eat late, what happens to breakfast?
Nah.
It's like, whatever. It's not something you look forward to now, right? And the one thing that this is another thing that I learned about thinking big, okay? Guys, you guys need to notate this. Ready? This is something I read and I truly, but I've always wondered why the lion has always been my favorite animal.
Yeah.
The lion. Ever since I was a little kid, I think it was a religious thing, like the Lion of Judah, right? That's God, that's God's animal, That's the representation of his tribe. Maybe it was that. I don't know. Maybe it was the Lion King. I love the Lion King, right? But the lion has always been my favorite animal. And you learn something new. You know what I learned something new about the lion, like that specific species of animal, is that the lion, and Alex, you may want to listen to this.
I'm listening.
The lion is one of the few rare animals species that enjoys the hunt as much as the reward. How crazy is that?
Wow. I had no clue.
Think about that. As entrepreneurs,
We enjoy the hunt.
we enjoy the hunt. We enjoy the hunt. We enjoy the we call it, and I'm gonna say the S word again, the eating shit phase for the first year or two, right? We enjoy the hunt just as much as the reward. If not, I can say this for myself, and I know I can say this for you. I think I enjoy the hunt more. I enjoy the hunt more.
Yeah.
Bro, paying myself on the first of the month, that's one thing. That's just the reward. But I love the hunts.
The daily, the day-to-day.
The day-to-day is the hunts. So a lion enjoys the hunt just as much as it enjoys the reward.
That's very interesting.
How powerful is that?
That's very true, though.
So
You ever just set a goal and you get the goal and you're like,
That
I
wasn't
already
as-
visualize,
Yeah.
I already experience this in your mind. Of
Yeah,
course, but-
absolutely.
Yeah.
So anyway, back to what we were saying, about thinking big. You got to overcome these fears, man. I remember back in May of 2016, I was scared. I quit my job in March of 2016, and I was so scared because we didn't really have a lot going on. We didn't have a lot of deals in the pipe.
We had a big vision, though. Let's
Our
admit
vision
that.
was always crazy.
Yeah.
Right? And, I was very scared. And let me tell you, we didn't have a lot in the pipeline. We weren't really paying ourselves at that time. And you know what I started telling myself? My entrepreneur mindset started saying to myself, I was scared. You know that feeling you get in your stomach?
Yeah. Anxiety.
Sour.
Uncertainty.
Yeah.
That feeling of uncertainty, that feeling of I don't know what's gonna happen, right? I'm scared. Well, I just started saying to myself, You know what? If I can make it through this, I'm gonna fucking fly. Okay, I said it. I curse. Oh well. Who gives a shit? Okay, I'll start it over again. If I can make it through this, I'm gonna fucking fly. So then my mind, I started saying that to myself. If I can make it through this, I'm gonna fly. If I can make it through this, if I can make it through this, I'm gonna fly. If I can make it through this, I'm gonna fly. And then July of 2016 was our first 6-figure month.
Yeah, it was.
That was our first 6-figure month.
Yeah.
Oh, and December of 2016, we had that $247,000 check on the 27 properties.
Yeah,
Crazy. If I can make it through this, I'm gonna fly. And we flew.
we did.
And it was only
We flew.
It was in what 6-7 months.
We flew.
That's insane. Yeah.
2016 was an amazing, amazing year of growth.
Oh, absolutely. I think that was a breakthrough.
Well, no, what really catapulted us was that the package. The
No, I get it.
27 packages. It skyrocketed us.
Well, it did, but I think it was a breakthrough throughout the whole year and every transaction we
scared were
did.
we
Yeah.
when we were
Oh,
doing
we
that?
were. I remember in the park in the driving.
but we weren't thinking big enough.
True.
We weren't thinking right when someone presented.
But look at
Now I wish
yourself.
it would have been 100 properties.
Your 10-year future self is gonna say you didn't think big enough today. You know,
Absolutely.
because it's there's some things that you don't know. You don't know what you don't know, and the more we know, the more we think bigger. It's like knowing 1 + 1 was 2. You're like, oh my god, so I can do. Then there's multiplication. There's
Algebra,
division. There's I mean,
Do you think that you're getting better every day?
100%. If I'm not, I feel like I'm dying. If I'm not evolving,
Growing?
yeah, I'm
Bro,
not.
I heard it last week. I think it was David Goggins, and it said, either you're getting better or you're getting worse because you sure as hell ain't staying the same.
Wow. I stand by
Like,
this.
who
I said if I'm not
who is
evolving,
this
I'm
guy?
dissolving.
You
Bro,
can't like think. Wait,
is
hold
this
on, we
guy?
can't just fly by that.
Yeah.
David Goggins?
Think about that.
Guys, who knows who David Goggins is? Because that's somebody that we may want to put
Yeah,
on the
no,
podcast.
yeah,
'Cause
we-
I keep hearing David Goggins, ex-Navy SEAL, some savage dude, right? I keep hearing
Bro, he
this guy's
said-
name, David Goggins.
He's
and
an
I'm a
animal.
big
He's a
mindset
beast.
guy.
But yeah,
Who
think
knows who
about
David
that.
Goggins
Yeah,
is?
there's something moving
Like,
forward or
you-
backward,
like,
right?
Yeah, either you're getting better or you're getting worse because you're not staying the same.
same.
You're not like
We think we
either
are.
you're gaining weight or you're losing weight because you're not staying the same.
We think
like
we
either
are.
you're making money or losing money because you're not staying. Like everything,
That's crazy.
there's two ways. So like then that comes down on us. Like we have the choice.
I mean, I simplify it a little bit differently. I say if you're not evolving, you're dissolving. Simple as that.